I'd like to call the meeting to order. Reading of your minutes, please.
Make a motion.
Roll call, sorry. Roll call.
Board member Anne Marie Fulham.
Present.
Board member Edmund B. Moore is absent. Board member Mark Schiffer.
Here.
Board member Anthony Kerr.
Oh, here.
Chairman Anthony DeTalia.
Here. What's the pleasure on the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Motion, second.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? So move. Just to apologize to everybody, the town attorney is in traffic, so we're going to be not moving into any hearings or any discussions right now. What I'm going to move into is, we have taxi,
We have to
Hearing.
wait for Mr. Miller, Sergeant Miller.
right, but the grade, requested appeal before, okay. So we're waiting for the taxi, waiting for the sergeant. We have a complaint that I think we could, well, I don't know if I want to go into that yet.
Ms. Gray's not here. She's probably stuck in traffic as well.
Oh, Miss Gray's not here,
I
okay.
don't see her. Oh, she is here.
Okay, well, I think we're going to be at a hold here for a little bit, only because the town attorney's not here yet.
Accident?
No, there's traffic. Would you like to address the closed hearings waiting motions? Some of them?
The closed hearing's waiting for a motion.
We can do number 1, number 4.
Yeah, we have we could address those. Vic Hampton, waiting, did we get a withdrawal?
We did
on
not.
that? We did not.
I think we should wait.
Well, we don't have to wait. We didn't get they were supposed to send the complaint, withdraw the complaint.
Right now.
We did not get a request on that.
No, she's
so-
not withdrawing the complaint. They did not settle.
Oh, okay, so
There was a
yeah,
proposed settlement.
you have information on that.
Yes, there was a proposed settlement,
Right,
but they never executed the settlement.
okay, so
I mean,
why don't we call them back in next month? Reopen the hearing, that's all. We were waiting for the withdrawal. If she's not satisfied, we gotta make it, then, not a hearing, we don't have to reopen, let's make a decision on it next month. Give them the opportunity 1 month.
Going to only 1 month.
You wanna make that motion, give them an opportunity for 1 month? Next month, if not, if they don't have the withdrawal or the satisfaction, we'll have to make a decision.
All right.
Make it,
So we'll make the motion that, to advise both Pario Litz and Vic Hamptons that if we do not hear from them within the next 30 days, we'll make a decision as to the license from Vic Hamptons.
we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Next month, we'll make that decision.
Would you like to wait on number 4? We do have Sergeant Miller here, if you would like to move forward.
We have who?
Sergeant Miller is here. If you'd
Oh,
like-
Sergeant Miller's here. Let's go, come on, Sarge. Let's go right to you.
Yes,
How are you?
fine, thanks. How are you all doing?
Good,
Hi.
good. Have a seat. You're here reference to taxi operator's license, Sloan.
Yes, sir.
Is there attorney here?
Yes, Judge, I'm here for Derek Small.
Do I sit here?
There's John
You
O'Brien,
can sit there.
3330 Noyak Road, Suite D, Sag Harbor, New York, 11963 for Derek Small. One and all.
Okay,
Client's not going to be appearing today.
and you're representing the client?
Yes.
You don't have to be sworn in because you're an attorney. Sarge, you want to tell us why you're not issuing the license?
Yes, on the application itself, on the bottom, there's an indication that says, have you ever been convicted of any crimes, felony, misdemeanor, or violations? He did answer yes, but he only listed 1 crime. There were several crimes, including felonies, on his file. On top of that, there was 1 that was not even closed out yet, that was still in the court at the time that I got the file.
That case has been resolved, unfortunately. It was a case where he availed himself of unemployment insurance benefits. He had a tough time financially. There was a potential disposition where he was going to pay the restitution and then get a violation, not be convicted of a crime. Unfortunately, he was unable to come up with the funds, so on his last court date, which I believe was last month in March, he was convicted of a misdemeanor, and he was given 3 years to pay the restitution. Initially, the unemployment benefits, which were wrongly obtained by Mr. Sloan, were in the amount of $7,140. He was ordered to pay with surcharges and penalties through probation $7,497. He did pay $3,600. He was unable to pay the remaining $3,897. As a result of that, he's been placed on probation for 3 years, and it was going to be a misdemeanor, and part of that sentence is to pay the remaining balance of $3,897. I would just submit to the board that, unfortunately, he had financial difficulties. This had nothing to do with him being an operator or having a taxi license. I would just ask the board to take that into consideration, let the man be able to make a living, so to be able to pay back the restitution that he owes, and not to punish him further.
So there's no criminal, it's a misdemeanor charge?
He was convicted of a misdemeanor. He was definitely
Misdemeanor.
convicted of a crime as a result of this incident here with the unemployment benefits, yes.
Is that all the stuff that you have?
Other than the fact that he failed to list the other convictions that he had on his file 15 to the town in reference when he signed up for the licensing, which
So-
is also a misdemeanor in accordance to the town itself, because he did sign off on that form.
That's a misdemeanor on its own?
It's a misdemeanor on its own.
So, can we request a new application to be submitted?
I don't know if there's any
Rich?
utility in that. The first question I'd like to ask, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Mr. O'Brien, has your client applied for a certificate of relief from civil disabilities?
Not as of yet, because the case is just recently pending, and I believe in the probation report it said the application should be deferred. They're probably going to wait till he pays back the amount of the restitution prior to entertaining his application for the relief from civil disabilities.
Another
you.
question, how is his driving record?
I don't have that in front of me right now, but there were a few violations. I believe they were all paid up, and his license was reinstated.
The license wasn't... And what kind of violations were there on the record?
I can't tell you right now. I need to see the file 15, that file for his license. I don't have that with me.
So, Rich, what about the new application being submitted, just for the records? But I know it's falsified originally.
My question is, what would be the utility of the new application coming in? Just to update the information?
Truthful
Yes, truthful information. We don't need it. I'm just asking. Do we want to ask for that?
If you're asking for an updated application, I think that would probably be the second thing to be decided based upon where you're going to go with the original application itself.
Okay,
If you're looking towards a denial of the application or keeping it as a denial, then it wouldn't see any utility in asking for another
Okay.
application.
okay,
That would be a threshold issue as far as I'm concerned.
okay.
What is he doing right now?
What's that now?
What is he doing right now? Is he working right now?
He is working right now. I don't know exactly what he's doing for work at this time. I know he was unable to be here today, but my secretary got the message. I don't know what he's doing for work at this time.
Okay, any other questions? Sarge, you have anything to add?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll take this under advisory and make a decision. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You all have a good
Record do
day.
we have that he has convictions?
They were cleared, I said. He had convictions, they were cleared. He has suspended driver's
Misdemeanors?
license. No. Oh, misdemeanors?
Yeah, you're talking about, what misdemeanors? I just see that. I don't see any misdemeanor convictions on the sheet, so I was just wondering.
Total arrest.
I didn't see any convictions. All right, total convictions.
Total
I don't see
convictions.
any convictions on the record, so
One felon, total arrest.
that's an arrest.
convictions.
I mean, he now has a misdemeanor conviction. I don't think he had any convictions prior to him making his application.
This one looks a little... I have to get back to you on that, but I have the...
Just for the record, I have information before me that I don't believe that he has any prior convictions based on the NICE's fingerprint report that I have. So maybe Sergeant Miller has to check into it to see, but, because I was surprised when he said that, but I just had to look through my file and see. So I don't have anything that says he was convicted of any misdemeanors or any crimes prior to his current application. He is now a convicted criminal, but I don't believe he was at the time he made the application, so that may have
Okay.
been misstated.
There's one other. I'd have to look at my folder to see what it was, but in accordance to his paperwork that I see here, I don't see other convictions, but there were convictions.
Okay, good.
I would just ask you can provide them
Yep.
to me if when you have the opportunity, so I can have
I'll
them.
give Mr. O'Brien a call.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Mr. Miller,
Thank you much for the time and courtesy, I
we still
appreciate
need
it.
you.
Oh.
There's a second one.
You can't leave it,
Gary?
only I can.
You're still here.
Thank you for the courtesy always.
We have Mosley. Is that it?
Yes, Gary.
Mosley? Gary Mosley? Is anybody here? Request to appear before the license review board. You have anything on Gary Mosley?
Yeah. Gary Keith Mosley.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tell us why you would deny that license.
All right, Mr. Mosley was denied a license in the same, when I got his application on February 1st, Mr. Mosley answered yes to the question providing the fact that he committed a crime, and he listed that he did he did have a misdemeanor. Mr. Mosley was also convicted in April of '87 of petty larceny, December of '87 of forgery, 1990 of attempted burglary, 1990 criminal possession of stolen property, 2004 attempted criminal sale, controlled substance, which is a felony, and in 2017 criminal possession of controlled substance, which is a misdemeanor. He did not list any of those on his application, therefore it is not true.
Okay. Mr. Mosley's not here.
He requested it, too.
He was, yes,
This was from prior adjournments.
right. Okay, any questions for the sergeant? If not, we'll make a decision. No, Mr. Mosley's not present, so
Was he advised?
Want to discuss
Yes.
and make a motion now, you probably.
we can make a motion now if you like. You want to make a motion?
On Mosley?
Yeah,
I make a motion, we deny the license.
yeah, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Discussion?
We have a second. All in favor? All opposed? So moved. The license will be denied. Thank you, Sarge.
That's it?
That's it. You're done.
Now.
You go get the coffee now.
Oh, it's about the,
Taxis?
Yeah.
Yep, no problem.
Thank-
You gonna give me a call, or you want me to hang up?
I'll give you a call. We got some things to do.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Thanks, George.
Do we have a Mrs. Gray here? Come forward, please. We're going to have a public hearing. Mrs. Gray against Rashad Painting and Remodeling. Okay. The board has the complaint in front of you. Everybody has that complaint. Mrs. Gray, can you get sworn in by the town attorney?
Ms. Gray, would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You lower your hand.
Can you give us a summary of why you're bringing this complaint against Mr. Rashad?
Rashad started some work for me on October 8th of 2016, and they started fine, but then it became winter and things kind of slowed down, and so I just figured, you know, that's what was going on. And I gave him initially $25,000. I think it's 25. I had it. And he started the foundation and the framing, and then they just kind of slowed down. And the whole roof there was no roof. They had taken out part of the roof from the kitchen because I was having an extension, and the water came in to the kitchen and whatever. And then he had me speak to someone about a kitchen, having the kitchen remodeling, drawings made up. And I gave him an additional $35,000. And everything just completely kind of stopped. I went with the woman, she came to the house, she measured, she did everything. And then for like 2 months, I didn't hear anything. And I called her back and I'd say, well, did he, what's going on? She said, I haven't heard from him. I tried calling him. He wouldn't take my calls. He just, he didn't come by or anything. And so that was in March. And I had some of the men from my church, everybody saw how distraught I was because the whole house was open in the back. And some of the men from my church decided to step in and help me, try to contact him and kind of man to man, try to, see if they could help. And he was dealing with, he said, I don't know for what reason, he didn't want to deal with me with the renovation. He was working with one of the guys from the church. And he came over with the guy, and they said he's gonna do this and that, and they made a whole plan. And every time he came, I was to report to this guy, that he came and what work he did, and this was an agreement between all of us. He never came. He never did anything. I have the whole thing written up, so I'm kind of out of order.
Well, we have it in front of us.
Oh.
That's okay, we just want to,
Yeah.
we have it all in front of us here, your side of it, so I just wanted a brief explanation of why you're bringing the complaint
Yeah,
against them.
so he never, only one of the things from the town, the approvals, inspections got approved because he just never, this was just the foundation. He had the footings off of the steps, and he called, just trying to tell his story. He just wouldn't do anything, just wouldn't do things, and I couldn't get in touch with him. And finally, one day I saw him outside of my house. It was like early. And I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "Oh, the guys didn't come. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I can't get these guys to come to work on." And I said, "Something's got to give, And I said I was going to give him a certain amount of time to start going on this again. And now it's into June, and he had the electrician come. Electrician started the rough wiring, and then was supposed to get an inspection for that. And I kept calling the electrician. I'm saying, where, I still haven't gotten any. And he said, I didn't call for it because Rashad said that you were supposed to pay for the electrical yourself, even though it's part of the contract. And the framer, he called me. He wouldn't finish. They had sketched out a part of a portico on the front. They had taken out part of the roof, and so all it was a bunch of sticks, hanging out there. And I kept asking, what's going on with that? And the guy said he didn't pay him for the framing. He didn't pay him all this money or whatever, and that he was going to file a mechanic lien against him.
Oh, excuse me, wait, let
we paid everybody.
her finish.
And it just went to nothing. He just wouldn't, he kept saying, okay, I want to do the job, I want to finish the job. The electrician wouldn't get the inspection because he said, I've got to pay him. And the portico wasn't on the blueprint, so they couldn't finish that. That wouldn't get approved. He never told me. Every time I would ask him, well, how come you're not doing the portico? And then when the electrician came and said to him, do you want me to, measure and whatever for that? He said, no, it's not on the plan, and I thought I was doing something nice for her by doing it, but it can't get approved. So I said, well, why didn't you tell me? So then I got to get back in touch with the architect. Architect had to come and do the things all over again. And I kept saying to him, you got to do the work or I'm going to have to terminate your contract. He kept promising, okay, yeah, I'm going to send, sometimes he would send somebody, they'd stay for like an hour or whatever, and I couldn't really see what was going on because, it's behind the wall. And just nothing got done. And I finally got the attorney to send him a letter saying this, this is after so many times, whenever I could get in touch with him saying, oh no, I want to do it, I'm doing it, and never doing it. And then I just had the attorney send him a termination letter. I sent a termination letter here, and I had to go get all the papers refiled and try to find somebody to finish up, a job that he had started.
Okay,
And-
so you had somebody else finish the job?
Yes.
Excuse me, you'll have an opportunity. You had somebody else finish the job?
Yes.
Did you get all the approvals from the town?
Yes, I did.
Light, electrical, and
Yes.
framing, CEO?
Yes,
And that other person is the one that got the approvals, or did you got them?
I did.
Okay.
And I filed as my own contractor.
Wait. You'll have an opportunity. Any questions for Mrs. Gray? Besides what I just asked? No? You get sworn in first.
I swear all I'm speaking is the truth.
Over here.
Oh, sorry. I said
Will you please state your name for the record?
Richard Owadali.
Mr. O'Reilly, do you solemnly swear that that testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You're ready. You can lower your head now.
Okay,
The board will
briefly,
ask you questions.
brief explanation. You heard the complaint.
Yeah,
We have it in front of
I did
us.
some work for her sister. I built a garage for her sister.
Well,
For her
that's,
sister,
we don't want
I got
to, we don't want to hear about what you've done. We want to know
Yes, I got the
why this
architect.
complaint is being brought before you.
Yeah, I got the architect. We were all updated. The electrician, I told the he said electrician never got paid. Electrician got paid every penny. But the only thing he didn't get paid is the extra that she wanted, which I refused to pay. I say, she want high hat there, light there, light there. I said, I'm not paying for that. I'm paying only whatever basic is on the plan so we can get a CO. And that's why, and everybody got paid. Is there paper that saying that is a lien? Who? Because I paid everybody. Any paper there, a bill that say that we did pay anybody there? You have some kind of a proof?
I don't think you're supposed to be questioning me, are you?
I am, yes.
Wait.
That's,
Do you have a paper saying that?
Mr.
Address the board.
Oh, okay.
This is
I paid everybody, so there's no lien on that house whatsoever. Actually, she owes me, my lawyer suggests that we sue for $50,000 now because she did pay the balance, and she just hired my guys to finish up the job. I passed by the house, my guy's over there. She told me not to come to the job anymore, just leave. And then when I go by there, my guys is finishing up the job, the guy that worked for me. So apparently she made a deal with my guys in the back of me, and I want to go finish up the job. My lawyer called him, and my lawyer said, listen, just get out of there, because she don't want you. Then a week later, I passed by the house. Guess what? My guys over there finishing up. All was left, the sheetrock, the sparkle, the painting. And there was $50,000 left into that job. And my lawyer said, sue her for the $50,000 because she did not sign the paper for you. She did not release you from your contract. You're allowed to get this $50,000. But I'm not the guy that sue people. And I said, I don't want anything to do with it. Might as well just walk away from it. It's just bad experience, and that's it.
You have,
I have a copy
You have a
of a
copy
letter
of-
from the attorney two letters the
Yes,
attorney
to
sent
the attorney, yeah.
him.
I have it here.
Okay,
Yeah,
both
we
of
have
them.
them.
And my attorney
Two of
said,
them.
just walk away from it. If you don't want to counter sue,
And then my
so
letter
then
to
just
the
walk away from it.
town.
And that's what I
Wait.
did. I didn't want the headache.
We have that copy of that. You saw this copy.
No.
You
The
don't
lawyer?
have Copy from her lawyer.
Yes, he was suing for $100,000, whatever. And my lawyer said, this is ridiculous. You should counter sue her for $50,000 for not paying you your balance and hire your guys to finish up the job. That's what you should do. But I say, listen, I don't want this. I just want to close up the case and walk away from there.
Well, I have.
Did you
pictures.
hire his, did you hire his
George?
people?
Okay, let me tell you what happened. One day I'm in the house, and I hadn't heard from him for forever. He hadn't done anything. And if you look at the pictures, you can see exactly on what date, what was done. Nothing was done.
Okay.
Because.
George
and I
came
Just-
by.
Yeah, I just want to see why they.
You can have a chance to respond.
Yeah, I just 1 minute, I just want
Okay,
to
but just.
point out
what-
why we did, yeah.
Just
okay, I'm
one at
sorry,
a
yeah.
time. I can't have both of you talking.
I used to see a truck in my yard a lot of times, or on the outside. I didn't know who it was. And I'm saying, oh, that must be one of Richard's workers. So one day I was actually up, and it was one of his guys who had done some work with him, was coming by, and he said, can I take pictures of some of the work that I did when I was working with him, so that, because he hasn't paid me, and I want to take pictures of the work that I've done.
It's a paper that says
And-
you pay. You paid everybody.
Go ahead.
And he said, I don't know why he didn't, do your work. He said, a lot of time, because the guy and I were friendly when he did come over there and work, and he, used to say, I don't know why he didn't send supplies over here for us to do your work. And he told us to let your job go and, doing other jobs. So I said to him, I said, my contracts and everything are running out, my permit and everything. I said, could you just help me get this finished? He said, I will. He said, but you can't be still associated with him. I said, I don't hear from him anyway. So that's when I said, okay, if I
Okay,
make a break,
so the answer is you did hire some of people that,
one guy, yeah.
okay, whatever.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's all I wanted to know. Go ahead. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, the reason the job got slow because he complained about the architect. The windows in the wrong place, the doors wrong doors. So we keep changing door, keep moving windows around. So every time there's a change, there's a delay. There's a 3-week delay because the door that we bought said, I don't want the full glass here. I said, this is the plan. This is what the architect, and that's what I ordered. Anderson full glass window. Here it is on the plan. No, I don't want that. The architect charged me $8,000, but he don't know what he was doing. Move that window to the other side. Okay, I said, okay. We keep moving. So that took about a month by this time. We reordered door, reordered window, getting approval with the architect. That's why the delay comes in. And then when I show up, say, oh, you have to call my contractor now because I have a guy that is going to overlook you. I said, overlook me from my church. Everything you do, you have to go do to him. He said, my job, I'm going to have somebody overlook me now? Yes, because this guy from my church, he's a big builder out here, so I trust him.
Didn't you swear to tell the truth in front of
Excuse
that's
me,
your
Mrs.
builder.
Gray.
Please
I
address
did.
the board.
Ms. Gray,
I'm speaking the
Ms.
truth.
Gray,
hold it, you got to address the board.
I know,
Okay.
I know.
And then, then I met with this builder, which I knew for over 30 years, and said, what happened? And he looked at my contract and said, you know something? You way underestimate yourself here. Yeah, you're just going to work for nothing here. I said, look at all my paperwork, look at my thing, and she still complaining. Well, the builder that she sent to me. And then next thing I know, the builder was not there no more. So I don't want to be involved with this. I walk away with that. It's your deal, you deal with it.
Okay, let me ask you another question.
Sure.
You're claiming all this delay was due to changes.
Yes.
Did you make any change orders?
No, I did not write anything. I
Work
just did
orders?
it as
So
I
then,
go along.
you made no change orders, you made no
I just called the
additional
architect.
cost? Did you
No,
make-
nothing, no additional cost. No. Every time I
But-
call additional cost, he start, I don't have any money, that's it.
Okay, but you haven't made any change orders?
No,
You didn't give her any change orders?
no.
And you're claiming that's why the job was delayed?
Yes, yes, because every time we change the front door, that means the siding can go up.
I know all about that. I'm not questioning that.
And
I
what
just
we-
want to know if you notified them
Yeah, we
in
did.
writing, and you haven't.
And to see, the whole thing that we did, the architect, the licensing I took care, I removed the whole building in the back, I cleared the property, I put the foundation, I do the framing, I do the roofing, the electric was being done, the door, the windows, the siding, the decking, the step, everything was closed out. All we have to do was sheet rock, sparkle and paint, and there was $50,000 into this project.
Okay.
And she threw me out.
When did, well, you can look at your letter here. On May 17, 2017, your lawyer sent him a letter telling him that it was, and he started to work on 10/16. Is that correct?
Yes.
10/16, and in May, you got notified that you're
Right.
no longer working
May
there.
No, that,
17?
no,
May 17,
no, May 17th was telling him,
not to come to work anymore.
no, that was on the,
She told me not to come no more.
Terms of the
no,
contract. why?
that, the May, no, the 24th one says that, comply with the terms of the contract. That's all it says. The one on the 18th of July.
The 18th of July, right.
Yes.
Right, I'm sorry.
Yes.
18th of July, 2017. The work started on 10/16.
Yes.
And how much have you paid?
After you after you sent this letter, how much did you pay after this?
Oh, my gosh. About $150,000?
You did pay me $150.
I didn't say you.
Excuse me,
Oh,
excuse me. How much did you pay after you terminated him?
About $150,000.
And she wanted me to do the job for 90.
And how much
I had
did
to
you pay?
pay an electrician.
I paid the
I had
electrician.
to-
The only thing I did not.
Wait a
pay-
minute, wait, please, address the board. How much did you pay, Mr. Bouchard?
$55,000. I have the council check.
I did the whole house, $55,000.
Excuse me. Please, give us a chance to listen.
I have all of the pictures where you can see in July that he had done nothing. He hadn't even put the
I'm just
done the
curious on how
footings
much you
like he was
paid.
supposed to.
How much you paid for the to the contract?
And how much work was
To the-
done.
Excuse me. Thank you. You have that information?
Yeah, I have, it's only bits and pieces. I have
Contract
it
was $80,000.
The contract was $80,000.
with him.
That's what I'm trying to find out. And how much did you pay?
I paid him
Yes.
55.
55.
55 out of 80.
Yes.
Then you paid another 150 to finish the work.
Yeah, it was, okay, well, the contractor, this guy George, he only actually charged me, he said, I'm not going to charge you any more than what it was supposed to come out to. But of course, it, came out way more than that. But I had to pay another electrician because they had only started the rough, electrical. And he didn't get any permits or anything for it, so somebody else had to do it and then get the, so it was just as if it wasn't done at all. He didn't remove any of he never got a dumpster. All of the debris, everything was left in the yard. The dirt and whatever, the dirt guy came by, he had left his little payloader there, and one day he came back to get it, he said he didn't pay me, so that's why I'm not removing the dirt.
Okay.
And I had to pay.
Because I paid
Richard?
everybody.
Mr. Ovodali,
Yes, sir.
one at a time. Start right now.
And I
Because paid
asked him
everybody.
once, and just before I sent him this letter, I said, get me the copies of the receipts of all the stuff that you paid. In fact, one of the guys from the church was at the house because he didn't want to work with me. He saying, oh, why, she's so hard to work with. When there wasn't even much that he did for me to even have contacted him to change things. he didn't ask me what kind of door I wanted. I don't want a full glass door for my front door that you can see completely through, and that's what he put in. I said, why would I want a glass door for my side, for my door? And that's all he changed. The windows were completely in the wrong place, one set of windows. They fixed that, that was early on. That was it. I never could even contact him to change anything else. There's nothing else to change because he didn't do anything else.
Okay,
And did you send any invoices to Mrs. Gray for the money received?
No,
Was there any invoice?
no. But as I was going along with the job, he just paid me. When the foundation was done, the framing was done, the roofing was done, all the window was in, and she was paying me along as the work was being moved on.
Okay,
First she gave me
Paid him those
25,
two
and then
checks.
she gave me the other 35, because I completed those area. And
from
I-
what,
yeah,
from what I see here,
right.
your contract was 80.
And
She paid you 55.
yes,
That leaves a balance of 35.
yes.
You're claiming she owes you 50.
That's with some of the extra, which I did, and,
Which
you know,
you didn't-
changing
you didn't
doors,
make
the
any change
windows, I
orders.
didn't make a change order.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yet, you're telling us that you paid 55 and another 150.
Yes.
So if his contract was 80, the 150, it seemed like a big discrepancy that he couldn't have done the job for 80.
Okay. Well, when I say the 150, it's because they dug up my sprinklers, so I couldn't do my yard, so and they had dug up all that sand, so, I mean, this was getting everything redone, so that's what that...
Okay, I'm only trying to determine, he had a contract for 80,000. You paid him 55, 35,000 balance. You said that you paid $205,000
Okay, yeah,
for
well, I'm
something that
saying-
he was going to do for 80.
Yeah,
Doesn't,
no, that's including having to get the guy to come and, somebody come in.
Yeah,
with the
redo-
dirt,
redo the-
come do the
redo
whole thing,
stuff,
And then
okay.
do the whole, yeah.
okay,
Everybody was just like
okay,
Just like
I just want to clear
rolling
that up.
over me.
Right now, we have a confirmation that there is a C of O for that.
We don't have it
I
yet.
have
She
it.
The
has it.
CFC was
She said
issued
that she
according to a
has it.
GIS system.
She
It
has it.
says,
It's here, yeah, I've got it.
so the other contractor got all the sign-offs.
I did it myself. I came in was acting as my own contractor because the contract was running out, and I had to file a new blueprint because I had to go back
Okay.
to the contract and go back and get that done.
Certificate of compliance for the the amended building permit was issued on July 26th of 2018.
Okay.
July 26th of 2018.
Yep, that's for the first floor addition to the single-family dwelling for a dining room and sun porch, alterations, renovations, and a covered porch addition and front porch.
Okay.
Of 2018. And then when did you file this complaint?
January of this year.
7, 2018.
Okay. Are you presently in court?
No,
No? Do you have a lien against the property?
I'm filing a,
No,
no, they
Is there a
didn't.
lien? Did he file a lien against
no,
the property?
nobody.
Go ahead.
I did find it, my lawyer suggests that I find a lien for $50,000 of property,
Okay, well-
which I refuse to do. I don't want to do that. So if you stay away from me, I will put a lien on
Okay,
your property
okay,
for
fine,
$50,000.
fine. Hold it. I just asked the question, Mrs. Gray.
Yes.
Mrs. Gray,
Yes.
I don't
have the
understand
right.
what he means by
Yeah.
stay away from him. I
you don't
understand
have a
what that means.
lien right at the present time.
I don't have the lien.
Okay. I didn't,
I did
I
not
asked
put a
Mrs.
lien.
Gray, excuse me. Okay.
I was filing I started in January after I did this, to file a money judgment against him.
She wanted $100,000 from me. She
Okay.
sued me for
Well,
$100,000.
I just want to know if you were in court.
She's suing
That's
me
all I
for
wanted.
$100,000.
Okay, one at a time. I just want to know if you were in court. You're not in court as of yet. Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions for this?
I have one question.
Go.
He never came. Snow buckled the floors, no windows were covered. What was the time period of, and if there was weather, bad weather, nothing was ever covered to
He
protect
had
the
a
existing
tarp
house?
on top of he didn't have the nothing on the windows, not even wood, and the snow just came in and was buckling the
So
and I
poor.
kept
We
trying
fix
to.
that, we fix that. She complained, but we
Okay.
fix it. I fix it.
Can you,
And
hey,
then
you'll have an
one day, and I have
opportunity.
pictures of
Yeah.
the snow came in through the kitchen that was there, and it was leaking all over the whole,
Did you call him when it was leaking?
I
Anything?
called them. They did come in a couple of
fixed
days,
it.
and then they put the, then they.
Yeah, I put the roof the next day. I put-
Stuart Wally,
No, I'm just saying.
I'm
Please.
tired of babysitting you.
We're not gonna get done with this hearing if we keep,
Thank
I mean,
you.
I'm willing to tell the truth, that's what, you
No.
know, you did.
Thanks.
okay.
Put the roof on.
Anybody, you have any other questions?
No.
Would you like to say
No.
anything?
I just want to say, if she come back to me, I will go put a lien on her house for
That's your
$60,000.
choice.
If she don't stop nagging me, I will go put a lien on your house,
That's
and I will get it.
Excuse me, that's between you and
That's
your
what I'm just
lawyer.
telling her. She will start nagging me.
Okay, that's between you and your
I will
lawyer.
go put a lawyer. My lawyer
Okay,
forced me to do it.
at this time, I want to adjourn this hearing for the board to review the information,
Don't touch the speaker, sorry.
to review the information that we have in front of us. If we have any other questions, we'll come back to you. We'll adjourn it till next month. At that point, you're both welcome to come back before us. With any additional information you have, please submit to the board over the next month, so we have it, and at that point, we'll discuss it and we'll make a decision.
Thank you, sir.
Okay? At this point, adjourn this hearing until next month.
Need a motion.
Motion,
Make a motion.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. That's one out of the way. Okay, next thing on the agenda here. Michael Davis and Parsonage Lane. I got to leave. Well, do I have to leave? There's no discussion. Room? I have to leave.
Were you recused from this matter?
Yes.
Already starting?
Okay, Tom will be in charge of the hearing.
I'm excusing myself. I'll be outside. You can go in there if you want to.
I could go in there?
If you prefer. Yeah, it's
Go outside. Talk to people.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Would you state why you're here today?
Yes, because there are certain items, as you may recall, with respect to my client's property at 129 Parsonage, with respect to, I think it was items 3 and 4, with respect to closeout documents and a warranty. Closeout documents included an accounting. We received at 4:13 a document purported to be an accountant, 4:13 last night.
You received at 4:13?
Yeah, 4:13 PM.
Oh, PM.
Time?
Yeah, time-wise, yeah.
Yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
Thank you.
Okay. And it's purported to be an accountant. We didn't get any other closeout documents, which we're still waiting for. And the accountant, from just a cursory review, it appears that it's incomplete. It's something that we're going to maybe, show a few examples. We're going to respond in a letter, show a few examples that's incomplete, but what we're not going to do is do their work. We're not going to go and, continue to audit and to go through the same exercise. And this is an exercise that's gone through the entire course, of the project. And here we're years later. With respect to the electrical inspection and the work is, we've been trying to coordinate an inspection on dates that, that the parties are mutually available. There were some dates proposed. We proposed dates that weren't available for the inspector. They proposed dates that we weren't available for. But that, right now, I know that's trying to be scheduled. As far as the inspection of the entire premises by Mr. Woodsma, that was done, and the report was circulated on Monday. And as you can see from that report, it is a number of items and I think what's important here is to understand the process of how this inspection was performed. You take this inspection, it's like there's a wall there, and we're contending that there are items that were, behind it. You had pipes that had to be insulated, you had insulation of the wall, he had insulation of ceilings. To expose it, it had to be cut, opened by a carpenter, which my client had to retain. So, they had insult to injury to show someone that they didn't put something behind the wall, and it was concealed, and I emphasize the word concealed, we had to get someone to open it up. Now, you can't take down every portion of every wall, so what was opened up was, in certain areas, just to demonstrate to the inspector that this work wasn't done. And if you read the report of the inspector,
Does everybody have the report that he's referring to?
I don't see that.
I have an extra copy and I can give it to you.
I got it.
Yeah, all right. But you can see if you went down the report, item 1, talking just about insulation, which has been a complaint that was supposed to require to be done. And these are just complaints with respect to what wasn't done according to the code. So you have missing floor joist insulation, in the basement mechanical area. You have missing insulation in the air sealing between the windows and the framing. You have missing insulation at the perimeter of the second floor in the master bedroom closet. Missing insulation in the living room ceiling. Missing insulation at wood headers. Missing insulation and air sealing at the end of the exposed steel beam in the soffit. Missing air sealing at foundation in the rim joist. And then missing air sealing at knee walls with blown-in insulation. Again, to show that it was missing, you opened up a portion of the wall, sort of what typically is done in an investigation of a forensic investigation of a probe. But, it didn't end there. There was pipe insulation, and it's referenced here, the hot water piping and the recirculating lines were not insulated. Then the vent insulation in the clearance, and he talks about the insulation.
But we got a copy of this.
I know you have a, but the point, and, also the fire blocker not installed,
Right,
the
so we got
engineered
a copy of
product.
it.
Yeah,
We have a copy.
okay, I know you have a copy of it. But what the complaint is here, here's someone that represents that as a licensed contractor to my client, all right? And a licensing review board is here, and the conditions upon which a license are issued is to protect the public from anyone that's going to be doing deceptive practices, deceptive work, doing things such as concealing walls without the work being in it, doing things that are going to be, that my client has to, but for the fact that my client is willing, has come forward here, financed getting a carpenter to come here to expose it. This work all was required to be done. This work was paid for by my client. This work here, and what has been demonstrated just by the inspections, is that work that was to be completed was concealed. Affirmative acts was concealing this work, and we believe that a licensed contractor for doing that should have his license suspended, because that is improper. You're not, the balance of equities here is that the homeowner has to be protected, and the authority that protect the homeowners is sitting right here. It is with you. And the contractor here, it's not a matter of saying, all right, let's get the inspector in here and create an updated list, and then he's done that work and he's going to do more work. This work was to be done when he was saying that the house was ready for a certificate of occupancy.
Okay, I think that,
But I just let me just finish. But I want to, the direction here, and I think is that the complaint is that the license should be suspended by virtue of the violations that were committed by Michael Davis Contracting. It's not something that we're coming here and here's a list and how is everyone doing so far? What's been completed with the list? I think the focus is being misdirected, and I think that has to be. You have to look at and examine the violations that have occurred here, and again, if you're protecting the community of homeowners that are hiring licensed contractors, they're supposed to be protected from, they're not going to know, they're not sophisticated construction-wise what's supposed to be there. That's why no one's going to be citing these codes. It has to be by the inspector, but if things are concealed and there's no way to have access, it's not visual, that act of concealing it warrants, mandates that a contractor's license be suspended.
Doesn't the framing and the insulation and all that have to be inspected before the walls are closed? Isn't that
Yeah.
normal?
I would say yes.
Okay.
If I may respond,
you want to respond, but before we respond,
I just,
let me know if it's wrong, but I think that.
And if I may just finish to my answer, yes, I agree. And what a surprise when you cut that sheetrock wall between the framing and you don't see the insulation. All right? That's what you would expect. I would expect insulation to be there. I would expect it to be done when the walls were going up, when the framing was getting done, before the sheetrock was applied, before you taped and spackled and painted. I would have expected that, but it wasn't done. And this report shows that.
If I may respond briefly. We're here pursuant to the letter of January 17, 2019 from Mr. Tatalia, which set forth that there were 4 items to be done by Michael Davis Construction. The first item was to have the reinspection done by the village. Second item was to have the electrical inspection. Third item was to provide a project closeout. The fourth item was a warranty. Now, with respect to our appearance on March 13th, when we came here at that point in time, we had just had the electrical inspection done, and there were 8 items that were outlined by the Town of Southampton Electrical Division. Subsequent to that date, those items were completed, and we have tried to schedule the re-inspection by the town, but we just haven't been able to connect on that re-inspection. With respect to the village inspection, I think at the last hearing, Mrs. Lippman had advised the board that she was away for a couple of weeks, so that inspection did not occur until March 29th, 16 days after that, and we did not get the list referenced by council from the village until after close of business on this Monday, April 7th, or April 8th, I believe.
April 8th.
Yes. So the other item, I just want, a couple things with respect to what council stated. The accounting that we provided is showing of the billing and the payments that were made by Mrs. Lippman. In addition to that, we provided a job cost by vendor. Ms. Ziesman made a request this morning. I didn't get it on my way here. I do have a summary of the job cost by vendor, which I can provide rather than the 20 or the multiple page report. There's a 3-page summary.
I need it.
You want the full one?
so
Okay, sure.
56 pages.
Okay, we will have that done and submitted. And in addition to that, I sent the link to council of over 1,800 pages of backup information related to each invoice from Michael Davis Construction. Those invoices and the backup information, and quite honestly, the accounting, had already been provided in the underlying litigation as of October of 2017. So they've had it for more than a year and a half. So to come in here and say they're surprised to see our accounting records, that's absolutely bogus. They've had it for a long time, and I'm just providing them what they already have had. I do have project closeout documents. And actually, most of these documents many of these documents are documents that they do have, and that includes the inspections, the CFC, the inspections which show that the insulation was inspected by the village and passed the inspection. And we have the CFC that was issued after the work was performed, and we also have the plans for which the work was performed, the permit set of plans that were submitted. We also have the permits and the documents related to the pool house, which was work that was never done. And I'm sorry, but I just cannot, it's impossible for me to copy a book that has the product manuals and the warranties from each of the appliances that go with the closeout documents. And these are the normal documents that we submit to the client as part of the project closeout. These are all here. They can have a physical copy. I have a inventory of those documents with myself. But, Mr. Kerr, is there a question?
I have a question, yes. You say the inspections were done, and the installation was inspected, but why would I get this letter saying all the missing installation? I mean, was that the inspector's fault?
Sir, I'm not here to place blame on anybody.
I just find it ironic that you have an inspection that says it's been done, and it looks like it hasn't.
Well, I'm not here to place blame on anybody, but let's actually speak to the nature of what this project was. It was a renovation to a very large house. My client did not renovate every single area in this entire house. When they do an updated CO inspection, that's inspecting everything that she opened up the wall on. So there are certain items here we didn't touch. And this is part of our litigation. We argue that we're not part, that was not part of our scope or responsibility. I'll give you an example.
What was open was work.
Counsel, I gave you your turn to speak. I didn't speak over you, but you can respond.
I will.
So, for example, let's just speak to the knee walls. It says missing air sealing at knee walls. That was an area that was never opened up by Michael Davis. They never opened up that area, and so they never were putting in the knee walls. That was never part of these plans. It said, if you touch it, put in the knee walls, but it was not opened up for them. Another example is the insulation, the third item, insulation installed in an unconditioned attic, was installed without baffles, blocking the venting of the roof shingles. Again, that was never part of our scope. There's an item for drilling or notching engineered wood products. That's the TJI I-beam. Those were existing notches that we never touched. And to minimize the work, we performed, all they did was reuse the holes that were pre-existing. There are a couple of items at the end that are certainly not part of Michael Davis's work, and that's the outdoor swimming pool and the fencing. Michael Davis never did anything related to those items. With respect to some of these areas of insulation, I mean, look, this is a huge project. There was some, is there some missing insulation around some tiny little, crevices in the window between the framing and the framing of the window? There were some areas, and they certainly should be addressed, and we're willing to address it. The January 17 letter says we have 30 days to get the work done, and we said we can get the done. We need work done. We need access to the premises, and they'll do the work. They've lined up the work. We have, with respect to the TJI joist, we have an architect and an engineer lined up that will look at those. The architect's name is John Laffey, and the engineer is Paul DeLandro. The architect is somebody that Mrs. Littman said she had at one point interviewed during her deposition. She testified to the fact that she had interviewed Mr. Laffey. So we decided to select him for that reason. If they have somebody else in mind, that's fine. Mr. DeLandro, again, works with Mr. Laffey. They'll take a look at the TJI joist. We don't know that that's an issue because, pursuant to the product specs for the TJI joist, they are allowed to be Swiss cheesed, and you can put holes in them. They're just a matter of the size of those holes and the location of those holes with relation to where the load-bearing points are on the I-beam. Accordingly, with respect to this board's order of January 17, we just had that inspection done on March 29th, and we just got the list on Monday. So we request the ability to perform the work as set forth in that order.
Okay, if may I respond? First of all, if you listen closely, which I'm sure the board did, and this is the permit set of drawings, at a closeout you get as-built set of drawings as to what was done. Number two, unequivocally, and we can swear on my client, there wasn't an area that was opened up that wasn't an area that had work performed by Michael Davis Contracting. So to sort of try to mix in, this was a renovation. This house had significant demolition that was done in it. We're only here on the work that was performed by Michael Davis. We're not here with respect to anything else. With respect to the, and it's interesting that the expression Swiss cheese is used, because I'll adopt that because it is Swiss cheese. These are engineered beams. These are beams that there's a deflection from what we understand as a result of this. This is beams that all of these holes and what was done, there were holes made by the contractors working for Michael Davis that went throughout this that made it the Swiss cheese. It wasn't anything that it could have been done. They could have done it in another way, but it just sort of demonstrates the overall theme of the lack of caring for what was going on with respect to this project. With respect to, the big, thick binder to get copied, well, what about the procedures for maintenance? There's no as-built drawings in it. What about the warranties from the respective subcontractors? What about a lot of the documents that would be typically done for that? And with the epiphany, thinking that if that did influence the board, the epiphany that, we gave this during the litigation. Well, you know what? It shouldn't take place during a litigation. If you're a contractor, a high-end residential contractor, and you have the board or the building inspector with an expectation that closeout documents be performed, I'm sure it's supposed to be delivered before a lawsuit is instituted. So, and again, it's just more of the same that you keep on hearing, we'll do this, we'll do that. You know who I look for? You know who's not in the audience here? What about the people who just didn't bother making a complaint? What about the people that live in the towns around here that didn't bother about making a complaint about Michael Davis, just said, you know what? I'm not going to go through this. I'm not going to do it. This has taken a significant amount of time from Mrs. Lippman, significant amount of time from a mother of 4 children, and it's just a matter of what happened here, willing to pursue it. And I think, again, the focus has to remain. This is a contractor that is authorized by the community here, by the board, to engage in home improvement work. And the obligation of this licensing review board is to review the activities and the conduct of those that are performing as home improvement contractors with a license secured from this town, and whether they're properly doing it. And with respect, what's been in front of you and what's within your binders, I mean, clearly, that hasn't happened here. And I think serious consideration has to be made to suspend, for some period of time, the license of a contractor. You have to send a message to the people in the community that, you know, if a contract doesn't do the work, otherwise, you know what? And you can see from the action before us, you know, it's the case right here before you listen to it. You can't have contractors, you know, engage in practices like that. And I think it's incumbent upon you to suspend a contractor's license that does not conform, and that it performs work with a concealing, incomplete work, concealing work that was damaged, such as some of the electrical work which got changed. Not saying, all right, here's your umpteenth chance at the apple, we're going to give you another bite to correct it.
Well, if I just have a chance to respond.
I'm not sure there's a...
With respect...
Is there a need?
Well, you know, if there's going to be a need, unless you're going to grant us the opportunity to perform the work, because we do have an underlying litigation where we make claims that there is amounts due to us. Now, I'm just going to make a note for the board that Mr. Chippert himself and his companies are part of a litigation that were subject to a license review board complaint. And Mr. Chippert will tell you that those are bogus, and that this license review board is being abused as a second tool to open up a different front in litigation tactic to put pressure on the contractor by very wealthy individual homeowners. And this case is absolutely not analogous to what you just saw before you. Michael Davis Construction came back to this project many times to deal with complaints from this homeowner. They were on this project for several years. There were changes being made to scope. That was part of our submission to this board. That's part of our litigation. And the claims that we've made with respect to these warranties and the project closeout documents, they weren't entitled to them because we said they owe us money, and we still claim they owe us money. So the idea that we didn't provide these to them?
Yeah, it's not money issues.
We don't do money issues.
I understand that, sir, but again, I'm talking about the procedure in which we find ourselves right now. They say, well, you should have provided that. That's not the case. We have an underlying litigation where we're fighting that out. And this is not analogous to Mrs. Gray's situation and what you just saw before you. It's not even close. Michael Davis has been in this community for over 30 years. Not a single complaint against him. Not one. And the idea that somehow we're protecting the homeowner, the average person, based on this complaint, that's not happening. This is a wealthy homeowner applying maximum pressure on a contractor. That is what's before you. All we're asking for as we come here today is we have the order of January 17. We said that we've been fulfilling that. We've been working to progress towards that. We haven't had the time to do the work because we just had the items itemized in the inspection document from the village, and they'll come back and perform that work and complete it.
If I may, the words of Mr. Ben Fisher, who I believe is at the extreme right of this table, take whatever money we have, walk/run off the project. All right? That's February 20, 2015. Fiasco, the word of Michael Davis, January 12, 2016. I have the emails here. You know, then there's Mr. Fisher asking, how do I answer? In answering a question to Ms. Lippman, how do I answer? And a response, simply put, you cannot answer it truthfully.
I think that an investigation was performed. We did review the facts, and we came up with a decision. You know, and here we're trying to follow up on the decision that was made. We see that the inspections were carried out. There were items that need to be corrected. An accounting project closeout, an effort to provide the project closeout documents was made. And here we are today, and from what I understand, there is a request for another 30 days. Am I correct?
Well, yes, we need 4 weeks to complete the
Yeah,
work
so
outline, some of that
30 days.
being
So I would be
the engineer and
inclined
architect.
to grant this additional 30 days to allow the process to continue and
And to do what? And to correct the parts that have been exposed by the probes, or to go throughout the entire house and rip down walls? Because if there's no insulation there at that point, none at that point, and none at that point, do you take down the whole wall? Mr. Pfeffer?
Can we let the board ask the questions, the litigants, please?
you know, I think that the concern here was that we want to make sure that the complainant has a code-compliant house, and the person who makes this determination is the building inspector of Sagaponack. It is not our board, but we are concerned, we want to make sure that upon completion of this renovation, the complainant has a code-compliant house. And then the second concern was that a proper project closeout documents were provided, and it appears that, you know, it's in the works.
Do you have any concern that the work was, because the work wasn't done initially?
Mr. Schiffer,
I think John Woodsman will make.
you want to make a motion, you can. You don't have to answer questions from the litigant.
So I'd like to make a motion that we grant the 30-day extension that's requested.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. So we're going to close this matter until next month.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the documents.
Mike?
Thank you very much.
Could I ask a
Thank you,
question?
gentlemen.
Yes. Would that be okay?
No, I don't think anyone's allowed to ask questions, right?
Can I ask a question?
Is it procedural or factual?
It's a question in general.
Maybe you should speak to your attorney first before you ask the question, if you don't mind.
I don't need to speak to my attorney about it.
See that?
So, do I have license to speak?
I think this proceeding was already closed for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your willingness to have listened. Then it was turned down.
You're gonna get Tony come back in?
I'll get him.
So we're going to do, so we're going to do in town?
Mark,
Huh? Going to do in town? The Silverman?
Mark.
Is there anything else that Tony needs to be recused upon while we're here, while he's out of the door?
But he was
What
there.
happened between A and B?
We'll talk about it, but.
Yeah.
Phelan, is there anything else on the agenda upon which Mr.
mean,
Vitale
so-
needs to recuse himself?
No, there is not. He's been asked to come back.
Good, let him take over. I don't want to do this.
What's next?
I believe
Um,
Mr. Silverman versus employment, is that you, Mr. Silverman? Mr.
Silver-
Silverman's here.
Bill Antonio,
I think we have an attorney here on the Prager matter.
Want to do Silverman? You want to do Silverman?
I don't believe that, I
think
thought I saw Mr. Walsh, I haven't seen him.
she's here,
There.
yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. What'd you call it? Silverman?
Yeah. You have an attorney here.
Okay, you call the Silverman complaint?
We're waiting on the decision.
We are here, we have all the information in front of us. We were not given any additional information, is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct. So at this point, the board will make a decision. Would you like to make a decision now, or would you like to discuss it?
I think we can make a decision now. I don't think there's any need to
Discuss it, or you
discuss
can
it.
make a motion and then discuss the motion.
Yeah, that's
See
how,
each other.
it's up to you guys. I get a motion to discuss it and make a decision, or a motion to make a decision, one or the other.
Discussion to make a decision.
Second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So move. What would you like to discuss? We have, from the Silvermans, we have a total complete thing here of charges and what they paid and what they were charged. That was the last thing we received. The contractor was supposed to give us a breakdown. I don't think we ever received that.
You did the date last month. He submitted it. Each of you got a copy of it.
That's what I think he had.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
Right, which one is the,
Silverman.
this
In
is,
your binders.
I got it.
Paperwork from Mr. Silverman, and then the day of Mr. Steve in town, their attorney gave each of you a copy of the breakdown of their paperwork.
This looks like a silver. This is orders to Silverman's. So you take this as Bob's Electric, living room, 2,200.
You guys need it?
4, 7, and 5.
You need it?
No,
No.
sorry about that.
Just to make more noise.
Yeah.
This is Bob's Electric. This is Silverman's, this is
7
Performance.
and 5.
He's saying.
Okay, well, you get a motion.
Those are the ones that
Here's Bob's.
use any one or three, just explain why.
So I can't just say.
He's supposed to charge 10%. He's saying that's how much it costs.
Okay, does anybody on the
Well,
board
above it and then
want to bring anything up to the rest of the board members? If not,
show you which one's
yeah,
which.
yeah.
if not,
I mean,
go ahead. Mac, you got something to say?
yeah, I mean, I think in this case, there was certainly a lack of clarity on the part of the contractor as to his modus operandi in terms of the accounting. And there was, the lack of contract is certainly was certainly an issue. But there was, the way the billing was done, I don't think was done in accordance with customary standards and the, proper accounting procedures.
Okay. Tom, you have a motion?
A motion to suspend his license
Tom,
based upon.
right there, 4.
Oh, it's on the back. All right. Based upon the subsections of the building and licensing law, or licensing contractors law under B, 5, 4, and 7.
You're proposing to suspend for how long, or you suspend?
All right, the motion is for how long? The suspension.
This is also based upon subsection 12 of section 143-11B. That would involve the false invoices or false invoices that were presented to the board. I believe 12 would encompass that.
Yeah.
If so, we can vote
And,
that.
I have to amend my motion to give it time. Six months.
Can you repeat your motion, Tom,
I make a
please?
motion that we suspend the contractor's license. 4, 7, and 12 of the Chapter 143 Contractors Licensing Review Board ordinance for 6 months.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. License will be suspended for 6 months. Thank you.
Mary Lynn, notice will be sent out to the license holder. Thank you.
At this time, the hearing is closed. We'll send a letter out notifying the parties. Thank you. Okay, next order of business. We have Kineski, what do we do with that one? They got till May, I'm sorry. They have till May. Stillman's done.
We're at number 5.
Number 5,
Lawrence Prager, Mark.
what happened to the attorney? They were here.
It's right there.
He left, she's
Oh.
here.
Okay, we'll have to leave the room.
Still on this
You
one?
can't do it.
Step out?
You can't do anything.
That's all we got, huh?
There's nothing here. We'll be out. Nice thought there, buddy.
One,
I'll
two.
come get you both and we're ready.
We don't have a quorum.
No, we don't have a quorum now.
No, you do not.
Okay, you
No,
can't
but
do
we're,
it.
Well,
we're not making any decisions.
hello, Ms. Doyle. You can make your appearance for the record, please.
All right, Kelly Doyle, Office of Michael Walsh, 860 Montauk Highway, Watermill, New York, for the complainant Lawrence Prager.
Ms. Doyle, as you could probably tell by looking in front of you, we do not have a quorum upon which to make a decision. If you want to just state for the record the application, we can do that, but it can't be acted upon today. It'll have to go to the next month.
Okay, well, our application is to reopen the hearing, have the complaint reinstated. I believe there was a misunderstanding as to the adjournment procedure and policy and the number of adjournments that we had requested. So we would like an opportunity to discuss that and to have the hearing reopened.
Thank you. We will see you on, what's the date, Leila?
It will be, I believe, May 8th.
May 8th.
I will send you a letter.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
your
coming.
time.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Unexpected circumstances, obviously.
That's all right, thank you.
Yeah. Got him.
Tell me to come back in.
Okay. Next. Okay. No other business before us on complaints. A new complaint, we don't have one. We do.
Dolores Camille.
Oh,
versus-
handyman Southampton.
It's in the Tab Point, so you look at it if you need to pass it.
Who?
It's in Tab Point, so it's in my neck of the woods.
So it's
If it
good.
needs to be, but look at
Okay.
the complaint first to see
So
whether you
we'll
feel it needs to
sign
be
that to-
signed.
You know what they're here for?
Well,
We don't
here.
folks here? These folks here.
I know, I'm
Okay.
I'm finishing this one.
Yours.
So Anne Marie will take that complaint.
Want to make a motion?
Motion to assign the complaint. I make a motion to assign the complaint to Anne Marie.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So move. I don't know if we have to make a motion to assign.
I don't think so.
I didn't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That's administrative.
You people,
But I
here for
appreciate the formality.
any reason?
I applied for a
Trying to-
contractor's license.
Okay.
Okay. What's the name?
All the small PJ's pool service.
Oh, we haven't gone through the new application yet.
No, I
It's a
don't
new
have it either.
application?
Application 190082.
Fourth from the bottom on the home improvement license application,
Okay.
2019 new ones.
And the other gentleman that's here as well is 1900076.
Benice?
Yes.
That's, we had, that one we had some questions on. Are you here?
Yes, right here.
Yeah, yeah. It was a big question. You had a lot of the bankruptcy. Is that all satisfied? Yeah, come forward.
Yeah.
Judgments, you had a ton of judgments.
How you doing today?
Good.
Just state your name for the record, sir.
Robert Albanese Jr.
You're the president of the company?
I'm sorry, sir.
The president or owner of the
I'm the owner of Albanese Contracting Corp. The lower four, I have bankruptcy that was filed in 2001 that has each of those items on there. How you doing today?
Good, sir.
How you doing today?
Good.
How you doing today? 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 How you doing
Yeah, this sheet here.
The two that aren't on there, the two that aren't on there is that State Farm Insurance Company and the General Motors. Those were just brought to my attention last Tuesday evening when she did the check. I'm aware of them. It's not that, that's not me. The State Farm is related to an automobile accident in 1987. I could tell that by the Richard Tibbetts below it. He was a passenger in the vehicle. We were going out to South Hole. We were working for somebody, and we had an automobile accident. He did sustain some injuries. Why that's there, I don't know. And the General Motors was the vehicle that was involved. I had a pickup truck that was very new, maybe 6 months old, and there was wasn't full coverage on it, which I wasn't aware of either.
Yeah,
Simply because
collision
I'm sorry, say
Yeah,
what?
collision on it, right?
No, well, there was when it first rolled out of the showroom, but the bill of sale was never mailed, at that time mailed,
Yeah.
to my insurance company, and it was removed off of that, and I wasn't aware of it.
Okay.
So the truck was totaled in the accident. Maybe 2 payments were made, but I couldn't make any additional payments
Okay,
on the vehicle after that.
You have no judgments against you from consumers or homeowners, or?
No, none at all.
These were all, I see they were all,
The majority, or in fact, all of these judgments that are listed in the clerk's office, these all occurred pre-2001, and there was a discharge of the debtor, Mr. Albanese, May of 2001. Specifically noted here is the one from Chrysler Financial Corporation. That vehicle was repossessed, so it's still on the books. It's still there. You want to get a discharge from Chrysler Financial to get this thing off the books so it doesn't keep showing up here. So that one appears to have been discharged. I imagine the others must have been as well. They're just not listed here as creditors that have filed claims with the bankruptcy proceeding.
Okay, any questions? No? You want, Rich, let me get back to.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to give him back his paperwork. Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
The explanation, we will make a decision on it. Your license?
Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Okay. Keep working, let's go.
Here's for PJ's Pools. Do you have any questions for them?
Who?
PJ's Pools 190076. Oh, sorry, wrong one, my apologies.
76.
190082, 4 from the bottom.
82, PJ Pools. We didn't pull it for anything, did we?
I don't remember.
Anybody have that one?
No.
PJ Pools.
I got Pool Shark.
On the list.
No,
Last 2 numbers are 82.
Fourth from the bottom if you've got it.
Excuse me.
Anybody have PJ Pools?
no.
No.
You said 82?
Yes.
Somebody has to have it.
80, 81.
Oh, you already looked at it.
Oh, okay. It must have been approved.
No, it wasn't. It was requested on the weekend, Jeff. Yeah.
What's your question?
You have Reliance Fuel, you have a judgment against you, or by Reliance Fuel Oil?
I was totally unaware of any of those.
Satisfied in 925.90.
I was totally unaware of any of those judgments, and as you can see, they go back pretty far. And I recently got a mortgage on a home, and it was a substantial amount, and this stuff never even came up, so I don't even know what this is from. I went online, and there is no more Reliance Fuel Oil, and the only other thing I found online was there was a judgment with Strump, Linda Strump, and I found that there's all sorts of class action suits against her because she goes to court and doesn't notify the person that she's getting the judgment against. but I don't have any idea what they're about.
You know who Paul Bellissimo is?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's you? Sorry. BJ.
But like I said, I went through, I have a North Carolina real estate license, none of this came up. And when I bought the house, none of this came up. And if anybody's gotten a mortgage recently, they go pretty deep into your past. And it was a total surprise to me. I even bragged about being an ex-altar boy, that she wasn't going to find anything on me. And she proved me wrong.
Okay. Okay. Any questions? That's it? Thank you.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it. I
We'll-
just wanted to ask you about it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just want to say one other thing. I've never been to anything like this before, and it was really interesting watching everybody operate. And maybe definitely glad that I've never run for a public office. That's for sure. But thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You can call me later.
Okay.
Okay. How we doing? We,
One more.
good. How about you, Max?
Yeah, it's going through it.
Hurry up.
There you
Well, we got another meeting.
I do too.
This is garbage.
Oh, is that you beeping all times for the meeting?
It's made me said cell phone's off and I left mine on.
Thought you read your emails.
You want to take that opportunity to run
Yeah,
to
we
the
did.
bathroom?
Okay.
They lead this one on Mike Neal here. He's just trying to change his,
No, he has, let me look at.
he had a license, right?
Let me look at my notes, to be
He
honest
had a
with you.
license. and
Right.
he's changing the name.
All right, so the other business isn't officially closed. And yes, he took the LLC to the incorporated, so we can merge the two if you'd like. I just want you to know that that's the other one. I
The
wasn't
other
able to find
business is
anything.
not officially closed.
No, it is not.
So he wants to keep two businesses.
No, he is in the midst of closing it, it's my understanding, but I don't have documentation to officially close that one. So I would put the two together with an asterisk that if it were to be approved, it would get a new license number, the other one would be on hold, so he could not process any applications, because he has stated that he is closing that business. But in the event that he doesn't, it would still be on hold, he wouldn't be able to use the other license number anyways.
He wouldn't
No,
be
he
able to
would
get a
not be.
permit or nothing, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, well, that's fine with us. As long as he's on hold.
On this one, this is, did you get the license from the DEC?
No, I don't think, I don't believe he's using pesticides, this gentleman, right? He's looking to do landscaping, correct?
Yes, it says,
Right, landscaping. Essentially, when they have, they're pretty good about giving me all of their paperwork. We've got plenty of landscapers. We haven't really been enforcing it, in all fairness. But he did not submit it. I believe he's just doing regular landscaping. There is no pesticides.
you think we should?
Well, there's no pesticides, right?
We have not been enforcing the DEC paperwork. It
Yeah.
never really was enforced.
Right.
That's important. Landscapers, new ones, if they are doing it, I do request that it is on the application. If they don't have it, it's that they're not working with it and they can't supply it.
Right.
Should we update the application?
The application does say it on there, that if it is DEC, if they're using pesticides, they do submit them.
Right, but maybe we should update the application.
The application does say it right
No,
underneath
but,
there.
and I'm saying, but it should say, do you use pesticides? And if he says no, Richard, there's an issue here for the landscapers. It says, provide proof of New York State DEC certification if your business uses chemicals. But we don't ask if the business uses chemicals. I think the application maybe should be updated to ask.
Sounds like you're at, huh?
It says,
What type of business is
If, it's saying, if you use pesticide,
Do we
if they're
wanna
not
know?
using it, they,
The question is, do we want to know?
no, I don't want to know.
So,
I mean,
so take that out then.
They're basically saying, if you use it, give us the DEC certification.
So that's also giving them.
That's what we're
notification that
saying.
they need
If
it.
they're not,
Yes.
if they're not
If
using it,
they don't have to
and
submit it.
once
And
we
all the
got it, what are we
landscapers
gonna do with it
I speak to,
anyway?
I ask them.
okay. I don't think it has to be
If I
updated.
could interrupt, for a moment. Ms. Gray was standing outside.
Yes.
At the end of the hearing that took place earlier today, the board had said, we'll give her 30 days to submit any additional documentation. She actually found some in her papers, so she just wanted to submit that while she's here today. I guess she can give that to.
She could give it to me, Lee.
And I will email all of you copies of what I received.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Just give that to Ms. Eastman.
Okay. How you doing, Mac? We done?
Yeah, almost, one second.
How many more you got? You want to give Tom some?
Yeah.
Gee, thanks, man.
Come on.
Where's Ed? Playing baseball, hanging out with Dwight Gooden?
Who?
Where's Ed?
He's in Florida.
Oh, some family member died or something.
Oh,
That's what at least told me.
So he's always following Mookie Wilson around.
I worked with Mickey Wilson.
Who knows?
When I was in college, I had an internship at an air freight company.
No,
Sorry.
no, no,
Sorry,
no,
wait, tell me
that's
after.
fine. For my
He's getting
records.
mad at you.
I'll send it to
And
you.
me.
Okay. All right, my dear?
Sorry, I'm-
Thank you.
I'm a big Mookie fan, so I'm a sucker for any Mookie stories. Thank you, Ms. Gray.
That was close.
Here,
Judgments, what are they?
judgment results.
Taxation, J&V Auto Salvage, no.
What?
No. The judgments, those judgments have nothing to do with homeowners. Only judgments I really care about are homeowners, you know? Homeowners or lumberyards or a subcontractor or somebody like that. Tax and finance, I don't care about those judgments. You know, auto loans, I don't care about them, you know.
Generally speaking, when you're talking about a license and reasons for approval or denial based upon convictions or judgments, you're looking for things that go into effect the work for which he's applying for a license.
That's what I'm
So
looking
Your logic is correct.
Well, this one here.
That's what I'm looking for.
It says,
If, you know,
Really?
if that's,
It's-
if he's got a judgment
it's
against
reasons.
him from the lumberyard, that means that he did work and he
Email
paid
now.
it. So the
Directly
consumer
affects what he's-
hanging out there, you know, that's,
Go back to lumberyard, but they're not gonna give him anything.
All right.
He owes them money.
okay? How we
I got
sitting?
one more. I think two more.
Okay, in the meantime, I'll get, what's your pleasure on renewal applications? Home improvement renewal.
Make a motion they be accepted and submitted.
Second, all in favor?
hi.
All opposed, so moved.
Anthony, are you seconding that?
I second it, yes. Motion on new plumbing applications.
Make a motion they be approved.
Second,
Submitted.
I have a second.
Second?
Second, Anne Marie. All in favor? All opposed? So move.
Hi.
Plumbing registration renewals.
I make a motion they be accepted and submitted.
I
Second the motion?
Anne Marie seconds it. All in favor? All opposed? So move. New applications?
I have one more to read.
Tom has one more. And
Anthony,
yes?
would you just like to add the additional information to the
That's a
record
thing
for
where you go on a
Mr.
website,
Harris,
it gives you the
please?
form. There's no real lawyers. You do it yourself. It's a do-it-yourself legal
Mr. who?
exercise.
For Mr. Harris.
What?
It would be for code enforcement.
Huh?
Code enforcement.
I missed that. I was working.
Oh,
on something else.
the masonry
Additional
con,
information.
right.
Complaint regarding Legacy.
Legacy
and
Masonry,
Contracting, Inc.,
right.
Omar Guzman. He's an unlicensed, he doesn't have a license with the town of Southampton. It is the third complaint that we have received from Suffolk County. It was sent down to code enforcement for your information.
I'll follow up on him.
Okay.
Which one is it?
This is the addition, an unlicensed contractor on the back of your agenda.
If it was referred, then he would have been cited and brought into court. I probably haven't come before me.
Haven't been able to catch him.
Okay,
What do we have? We have a complaint on him here?
No, we know, it's,
They have the information, code enforcement has a copy of it as well as I do. I made sure. I
did
had
they,
it with
did
me.
they file a complaint here, or with Suffolk County?
They filed a complaint with Suffolk County, which was forwarded to us.
Which was forwarded to us.
Claiming non-jurisdiction.
Right.
I double-checked him, he still is not licensed with us. That information and a copy of the complaint has gone downstairs with a letter to the homeowner letting them know that he's not licensed and that the complaint has been forwarded to code enforcement.
Okay.
Says what he does.
But
It sort of narrows down.
to me, it doesn't make sense that we don't review the,
What's that?
if the person is not
Outside
licensed,
the scope, you know.
Yeah, what do
we
you
should
want?
still,
I'm impressed they put in that much effort.
Why should we hear the, why should
Not our
we hear the?
jurisdiction, Mark.
We could hear it, but he's gonna be marked that if he applies for a license, he's
How
gotta,
is
he's
he
gotta
gonna-
come before us anyway. Because we won't issue a license. He can come in and apply for one, but it won't be issued until it's gonna be flagged. He's gonna be flagged.
the issue is,
What did he do? What's he do? What did
So
he
Well,
do?
he's operating without a license.
I know, but what are the complaints? Money
I
complaints?
didn't see the
The
complaint.
complaints came from who? From homeowners?
No, the homeowner filed the complaint with Suffolk County, who forwarded to us.
Okay.
And those complaints, at that point, I issue a letter to the homeowner letting them know that we have received the complaint from Suffolk County, that he is not currently licensed with us, but that it has been moved forward to code enforcement if they have any questions to contact code enforcement in regards to the complaint.
Perfect.
But we don't have to hear that
There's,
complaint.
there's nothing you can do. You can only
no
revoke
authority.
license,
That's right.
suspend license, or grant or deny license.
Right.
Now, there's nothing before us.
There's
so
nothing we
it's
can
up to
do.
code. What will happen, practically speaking, Mainland did absolutely correct. When it gets down there, they're gonna hopefully find him. And we're actually, next month, we're starting intensive sweep on unlicensed contractors in the town. Councilperson Scalera came up with this. And so we'll be finding these guys, they'll come into court, I'll be prosecuting it. At that point, I say, if you're planning on working in the town, you need to go get your license,
and what is the fine?
up to $1,000 each time
Right.
it's called.
But when they come into court, they're gonna have to come to us eventually, and they're gonna be flagged. We're not gonna, we're gonna have them before us at that point. So,
And then you make that decision just like any other application, whether you're going to grant or
yeah,
deny.
we may say we're not gonna accept your application because you had 3 complaints, boo, whatever. Okay. What's your pleasure on new applications?
Make a motion to
County-
accept it as submitted.
All in favor? I second. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. At this point, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Nope,
Nope,
nope.
thank you.
Go ahead.
You currently have not made a decision on the Silverman?
Oh, so
Yes, we
My
did.
apologies. 6-month suspension. The only one was,
Ascension, we
There were
did.
two.
We
There's
approved
numbers-
his license.
Numbers 1 and 3 on the agenda. Pio Lids versus Vic Hamptons, Victor Rojas Perez.
We made that decision already.
We did, did I-
Yeah, you weren't here. We told him,
30
we
days with
said,
the letter.
we gave him 30 days to come, return the letter, or we'll make a decision next month. You weren't here there. You were in
and
traffic.
Macaulay's next month.
And Macaulay's next month.
All right. Then I have nothing else.
Oh, there's taxi. You've not made, that's what it was. My
Oh, that's
apologies.
right. Thank you, Maylee.
The
You're
taxi.
correct. What's your pleasure on that taxi?
This guy had a felony?
We have.
Not a felony, he has a misdemeanor,
Which one are you addressing? Are you
John O'Brien?
on
Gary
directing,
Sloan or Gary?
no,
Mosley?
Sloan.
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 No, because
Mostly we
mostly
He had a mis-
denied.
we denied.
No, we did, hold on. We did not deny it yet. Yes, we did deny
Yes.
the second one. Sloan, we have to make a decision.
Right.
He has a misdemeanor,
How long
There's
is
a
the taxi
discrepancy in the documentation, correct?
We don't get to see that.
Sloan?
license? Yes.
what Sloan,
There's
he had,
discrepancy in his
there was some,
misdemeanor, whether
there was
it's
some,
valid or not.
there was some charges against him that he didn't put on his application.
Yeah.
And
which-
that's when I asked about getting a new application. There's
Yeah.
no reason for that, right, according to Rich. So, we can make a decision to give him a license or not give him a license.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the first one that you're talking about is because of his unemployment benefits and everything that went to court. Then there's another
Disability.
one, that there's another misdemeanor that's not clear based upon
Well,
what,
from what Mr.
Right, or am I
O'Brien, the
wrong?
attorney, was
Was
saying.
O'Brien showed
There were,
Go ahead, I'm
what
sorry.
Mr. O'Brien said there, he's now being either convicted or pled to a misdemeanor, which was not finalized when the application was
That's
submitted.
correct.
So it sounds like that would not have could not have been a part
Right.
of the application. But there was a prior conviction from before the application, which was not included in the
But it
application.
is in your books. If you flip to the taxi section, the entire file for
Right.
Mr. Sloan is in your book.
We got
Did
that.
he submit that to us?
Yes, they gave,
So,
this was originally.
We just have to
designed by
make a
Sergeant
decision.
Bennett.
Are we
But
gonna,
how did, the issue was, did he disclose that conviction to us in the application? Or did we get that from Sergeant Miller's investigation?
no, he
So
disclosed that one. What happened is the other ones were not disclosed, but that, and according to O'Brien, they were not part of, before,
Right.
they were after his,
But now we have before us a conviction on a misdemeanor.
right.
He has, we have this application, it's been before us since 2017. It was the first arrest, Suffolk County District Attorney, we have the arresting, we have the case number, the arresting, it would be your first page. It was in reference to the arrest on August 28, 2017. It was grand larceny in the fourth, that was $1,000. I believe his attorney didn't have that, but that was given by Sergeant Bennett at the time. Right behind that, we have the letter from the town police that was from Sergeant Bennett at the time, explaining the denial. And then we moved forward with that, and during that process, within the year, that second issue came about. Just
Okay.
for a recap, so that you understand, that the original one, when it was denied, was for the grand larceny of 100,000 in the fourth degree.
Which is.
Right, but that was dropped down to a misdemeanor.
I didn't, that's what it sounded like. I didn't hear do you know what he pled to? Did he give us the full disposition?
He pled that he was going to repay. That was for the
7,000,
unemployment.
yeah.
The unemployment benefit.
It was
That's for the second
benefits.
one. That's
Right.
not for the first one. The first one, I believe, I can.
That's what I'm
replay
trying
the
to
tape
find
when
out.
We have it. I can listen to it when we watch it. My apologies. To see what was said, but I believe it was knocked down to a misdemeanor at that point, but it was not placed on the application, which is why there was an issue. When they came, I believe it is at some point halfway through the year, it was December, 2018, 2017, when they came before the board requesting a year, give him a chance to pay back restitution because of the second offense. So there were two offenses, that the first one that was brought to our attention had been knocked down to a misdemeanor, but then there was a second one, which is
So
the
that's-
one that's before us right now.
Slow down, I think you probably have enough information to make a motion.
We do. You think we do?
We have enough information.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, before we make any motion, if the guy can't work, and from what I see, the charges that were brought, they weren't drug charges. They weren't ripping off consumers. It was the disability and this, and that. So my feelings are,
I make a motion we approve this.
thank you.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All in favor? All opposed? So moved. And we already made a decision on the last one. Now do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? So moved.